2, 3, testing 1, 2, 3. Can you see me? Okay, you can see me. Hello, we are back for another episode of Manny Monday. For those who are not fit to the fact, every Monday I do a Manny Monday in which I go off a list. I usually post that list on my Instagram on Fridays, right? If you want to follow me, so you get some clips, but then also the list, my Instagram is right here, right? Again, it's right here. Also, the list for this video is in the description. But if you want to be updated on everything, Manny, please follow me on my Instagram. So I usually read off a list of those topics, and I just go in depth. And these topics are just moments of epiphany, things that I learned, or just things that I want to talk about, and just things that are of my interest, right? But without further ado, I currently have to add a top coat. So like my nails are painted black. I'm adding a top coat before I go out. But I also want to do this Manny Monday. So yeah, we're gonna do a little bit of both. We're even gonna read a little bit. But without further ado, let's get right into it. Voting, right? Voting. So November 5th is a date that we are required to vote here in the United States, depending where you're located. I'm very excited about it. I took advantage of early voting. For those who are not hip to the fact, there's this thing called Ballot Ready, and it allows you to research your candidates, right? And so I was doing Ballot Ready and I was researching my candidates to just get ahead and be an informed voter. I did not know there were so many judges that you have to select. I did a mail-in vote. I know other people can do, like, you can go in the poll day, you can do all the voting, but I prefer a mail-in, especially with COVID, and I had jobs at the time that I wasn't able to get off voting day, so I had to do mail-in, and then I'm on that list, and I've been continually doing mail-in since then. But little did I know, there's a lot of fucking judges, like, a lot of judges, and I say that with full respect. And so I really had to do the due diligence of doing all of it, because I know with certain states, they don't count your ballot if you don't fill out every place or you fill out every bubble. I wasn't able to do research for currently in Illinois and how that is functioning, how it does. So I just filled in for every judge. I try to do my due diligence and research every candidate, but again, there's just so many that it was almost impossible. But for the ones that matter when it comes to the state's attorneys, the presidential race, and all those, I did do the research on that. I looked at their viewpoints and then be able to vote. So yeah, this is an advertisement. I don't get ad dollars, but I do recommend that you do take advantage of Ballot Ready, right? So that you can be an informed voter, especially for those things that are very local. Like, yeah, there's the things that you can vote for as far as like politicians, but there's then also things that you can vote on whether you want it to be passed or as it relates to taxes for one thing. So yeah, definitely get involved with that and take advantage of early voting. So this will post on Monday. Vote tomorrow. Yeah, continue your duty. The second thing I want to talk about is I hate the way you breathe. This is just knowing when to just let go and just knowing when things that aren't going to work out, right? Recently went through this crucible, right? I'm not putting this person on the bladder. It's not passive aggressive, but it did. What I am taking away from it is the life lesson of knowing, like, hey, this isn't going to work out, and it's okay. Like, when you reach a certain point where you lose sense of yourself and who you are, and it's like, you know what? This isn't working out. So I was interacting with someone and I started just like appeasing them. And I think that's what you're supposed to do. Like when you meet someone new, you want to be liked by them. You go along with it. And when we first met, like, oh, it was great. It was amazing. And then it was like, okay, I don't like that you do this. And I'm like, okay, maybe it was something that I said something wrong. And then it was something that I've done right. And then it got to the point where it's like, I don't like the way that you breathe. And then it was like, at that point, it was like, oh shit, this is what that is. And just having to recognize that, call it a spade. And then I'm like, I literally had to have a conversation with that person, like, you're just annoyed by me, right? Maybe I'm not taking it personal, but it's just like something that about this interaction is something about that me and you interacting, that we just falling out of favor with each other, and we don't have to really interact with each other after that, right? So after having that conversation in person, and then blocking them, unfriending, whatnot, it felt like the most adult thing that I've done. But then it's also recognizing who I am as a person, and that I don't want to get so lost that I'm appeasing someone that I lose sense of who I am, and that I'm doing things that actually change who I am, right? But it was fun while it lasted, as like all like friendships and just getting to know people as it does go. But it is unfortunate that like it seemed like being like the idea of me, and then actually being with me or being around me and how I can carry my things, and I'm just trying to navigate this. But then when it comes to a certain point of like the way you breathe, yeah, like when someone becomes like, there'd be a plethora of songs, but sometimes when a person becomes annoyed by the way you breathe, like I consider myself pretty healthy, right? I'm not saying that because like you're healthy that you're immune from like having breathing troubles and stuff like that. Like it just happens to anyone. But like I know for a fact like my level of breathing and stuff like that, this person was just like bullshitting me. But it was just okay, and I felt like a sense of comfort and pride being able to know like, you know what, let me just take myself out the equation and just like let them be, right? So yeah, when someone gets tired of you breathing, don't try to please them. You need to breathe. Just let them go. The third thing I have, I've actually been reading this book, Riddler Year One. Funny enough, I have a story. So I actually was reading this. I left it in the parking lot at work. The parking lot attendant, they found it. They kept my book for a week. In this time, I actually ordered another copy of this book. And so I end up picking it up. A coworker told me, because I told a coworker I lost the book. Then they found out that the book was in the parking lot slot or whatever. And then I gave a copy that I had, and this is the original copy that was in the parking lot and that they held for a week. Something that really stood out to me from this book is told from the actor that played the Riddler in the 2022 version of the Batman. And it reads, Renee says, "You look back, just don't get caught staring. But I can't help myself. I've never had anything to look forward to." It's deep, resonates. Let it resonate. I do this. I learned it from The Bear. It's like when something really resonates, you gotta rub it in. And yeah, I think that's very true. It can even be taken in literal terms. And the context in which he talks about looking back is when he's looking at the documents, and he's noticed he's an accountant in this book. The Riddler's an accountant. He's noting there's some irregularities in the way that the finances was done, and that there's money that's missing. There's $10,000 missing, and it's supposed to be written off as a renewal, but it wasn't really taken to the renewal. The money was placed somebody else. It's like it's missing. Where did the money go, right? And so he's looking back at it, but he doesn't want to get caught staring. So as he's looking through those documents, he doesn't want to get caught staring at it, going into depth. It's a case that he can't let go, but he can't. He's so obsessed with it because he's also in his head like he has nothing to look forward to, because he felt like his life was just coasting to the moment, that he couldn't really move forward or let it go, right? So it makes me think about life when I think about individuals. We pretty much have like those friends where somebody like they know you from high school, or they know you from a past life, or this is years ago, right? And yes, when they see you, they want to see how you are, but some people are still in that mindset of like, oh, when I was in high school, oh, when I was in college, I did this and stuff like that. And it's good to reminisce on those memories and stuff like that here and there. But it's also an understanding that I'm not limited to that. If you knew me in college, right? If you knew me in high school, if you knew me before then, you don't know me now, right? You get a perception of who I am from the internet and these conversations, and maybe you're seeing this through a clip, but I'm a completely different person in real life, and I'm actually self-actualized in real life, and you only get the true Manny experience if you actually meet me, you actually talk to me and have those conversations, right? And I think people lose sense of that, because like, yeah, you have an impression of who that person was in that time, but things move on. You have to move forward, right? And you can reminisce on the good days that you have and the vacations and the shit that you've done, but there's always a whole future out there, you know? So maybe I'm looking a little too deep into this example, but I do think it's like, it does resonate with me that I can look back, but just don't get caught staring. It means don't dwell too much on the past, that you can appreciate what you have currently, but then also looking forward to something else in the future, right? I'm glad of the accomplishments that I had. I know in the previous video, and probably the one before that, I talked about how hard it was, right? For me, 2024, I considered it one of the worst years of my life, right? 2021 is competing, but 2024 it's been pretty hard. But I thank God for like all the shit that I went through because of where I'm at right now. Like, granted, I'm not out the woodwork just yet, but how exciting and the things I got to experience and like how life has changed and how I've been blessed. Oh man, this has been amazing. And I reflect on it because I want to know where I came from, but I'm also still trying to be present. And I'm looking forward to the future as well. And if I can offer anything, I offer that to you. The future is worth looking forward to. Yeah, we went through some things in the past. We may reminisce in it, but don't get lost in it, right? If you do see someone from high school, whatever, I don't know how often this fucking happens. It doesn't happen to me because all them people live on the north side. But I do challenge you to ask them how they are currently. Yes, you have the passing thing, but next time you do meet someone or you're checking in with them after a long period of time, ask them how they are currently and don't get too lost up in what came before, you know? Yes, reminisce, have some memories, but then also you owe it to yourself to not get lost in what came before in that past, because you still got a life to live at the end of the day, right? Like, subscribe, comment, and share. Yeah, I'm including all those. I wish I would repeat it, but I don't remember what order I said it. But yeah, like the video. Can I get a thumbs up? You made it this far, might as well like the video. Subscribe so you get more of the content. And of course, if my Instagram was listed at the beginning of the video. I wish you all a great day. And as always, jaritos are on me.